Thanks for joining us. Right in the middle of this long holiday weekend, we're still going to be dealing with mountain storms this weekend. We're still going to keep those mountain storms around into the middle of next week. It's quite possible Tuesday and Wednesday will still be very active days. And as such, with headline number one, we segue into number two, with the flooding risk continuing in the mountain zones. Now, I'm specifically referencing the Grizzly Creek burn scar. That's a major thoroughfare. That's right above I-70. And we've seen flash flood watches this weekend. I anticipate more flash flood watches into the upcoming week. Also, by the way, lower elevations, the Tri-County area, Montrose, Delta, Grand Junction. We will dry out slowly, but we're going to really heat things up. We're going to have some hotter temperatures at the end of next week, the likes of which we haven't experienced in quite a while. I'm talking triple-digit numbers for a few locations. But this flooding risk in the mountain zones, once that flash flood watch gets upgraded to a warning, CDOT immediately closes. It's a safety closure for the I-70 corridor from Glenwood Springs to Dotsero. There's no traffic in either direction until that warning expires, and then CDOT gets in and makes sure the road is clear and safe to use. Luckily, we haven't had any debris flow reports yet, so hopefully we'll keep continuing with that. We've had a whole year since the debris flow that ruined I-70, and we've actually been, some vegetation has been growing, so that's the good news there. But not to discount when we get those flood advisories too. We get some heavy downpours in the backcountry, the unpopulated rural areas, but roads are back there, and a lot of off-roaders like to travel on there. If you're an off-roader and you encounter what was previously a dry road, or you encounter what was previously a dry creek or riverbed, or even a wash or an arroyo, if it's filled up with water, do yourself a favor. Just turn around. Turn around, please. Driving through that, even though you've got an off-road vehicle, you don't know how quickly, you don't know if the road underneath has been compromised. That could be a big situation. Speaking of big situations, check this out. JetBoat Colorado's got the sponsorship for water temperature. We're talking about the Colorado River at the Utah-Colorado state line, 71 degrees at the end of each day. It's fairly consistent in the low 70s. Stream flow has been dropping off a little bit. We peaked right around 8,000 cubic feet per second. Now we're going through the 6,000s, the 5,000s, and now here we are parked at 4,000. So even with the mountain storms contributing a little bit to the riverway, I think the only thing you're going to notice about those mountain storms and their contribution is the turbidity, how clear, or rather how dirty or murky the river is going to become. So it's just something to keep in mind. Always wear your life jacket, please, and SPF as well. Even with storm clouds around, you're still going to get a little bit of a sunburn. Now, when all is said and done, average high temperatures for Grand Junction on this day, the beginning of July, is right about the mid-90s. For Montrose, it's the upper 80s. So we did a great thing on Saturday. We will continue to arm wrestle with these storms, but with the storms initiating first in the mountain zones and then slowly drifting over the late afternoon, evening hours, that drift occurs after the highs have been achieved. So it's very possible we're going to maintain fairly decent temperatures this week. Now, all the storms that we've been dealing with is a combination, and again, placement is critical because we had a low pressure system off the west coast contributing a little bit to the tropical source region, the Eastern Pacific, the Gulf of California. We have a high pressure system off towards our east and the deep south, grabbing up rain potential out of the Gulf of Mexico, also the Mexican mountains, the Mexican plateau, if you will, but also the Sierra Madres down south. They contribute to that. But the placement of our low pressure systems, if our low, which is what's happening right now, the west coast low is actually fading to the north a little bit. So now that's, instead of rain potential, that's pushing in dry air. It's a slow drying trend, the likes of which, we won't really feel or experience until about Tuesday or Wednesday of this upcoming week. We still have storm potential even for the 4th of July, but I think we're going to clear things out by the evening hours, and I'll show you that in a moment. High pressure system best served during the monsoon season when it's further to the south, into the deep south, but this is relocating into the southern plains. So the Red River Valley and Kansas, Oklahoma, that'll pump in hotter temperatures. So we're kind of in this flux position right now, and we're going to continue to do so. Heavy rain down to the south, rain showers scattered through the mountain zones for the Saturday with the valley drift. High pressure system still in a good position. But once we get into Sunday, it goes further to the east, and it's going to continue fueling in less rain opportunity, fueling in more of the hotter temperatures. Low pressure system cruising to the north by the end of this weekend. Tomorrow, that'll be filtering in some drier air. We'll also get breezy conditions out of it as well, and that can't be helped. Of course, gusty outflow winds from area storms, that will still be a real possibility, along with the flood watch upgrade to a warning. But we're going to see scattered showers we saw it for the Saturday. We're going to see it on the Sunday. We're going to see it on the Monday, even into Tuesday. But once we get through the Monday and into the Tuesday, Wednesday, it's really just for the mountain zones, and we may see some of those drifting over the valleys. I really feel like our 4th of July is going to be going off like a firework, if you will. We've had some fire restrictions lifted in many locations. We've got a great baseball game Monday night, downtown Grand Junction. That's all cause for a great celebration afterwards. So fireworks display should be a go. Don't see any reason why not. We're going to have light winds out of the south, southwest. Right around the fireworks time, well, 8:45, 9 o'clock, it should still be middle and upper 80 degrees. So it's going to be a great night. Looking towards the middle and end of next week for Grand Junction. And this also holds true for all locations on the western slope. We're going to heat things up. Now, we do have records in July. July, typically one of our hotter months. We have records in July in the low 100s. So I don't think we'll hit record territory, but knocking on the door with triple digits by the end of this week and into next weekend, this time next weekend, yeah, prepare for a hot and dry go.